Hello. We're back, and wow, today has been a long day. I've been doing a lot of hard work today. Just got wrapped up filming my filming the live demo component of my new video course, Sexual Dominance Escalation. We ended up with... Hello, Ryan. Good to see you in chat. We ended up with about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes worth of usable footage of various different demos, about 80 different shots over the course of the day, which is quite a lot. But quite a lot of footage done today, and boy oh boy, was it an exhausting day, was it a draining day, but it was a day that it was well worth. It was an expensive day. Yes, it was an expensive day, because shooting even sexual education kind of pornography is still rather expensive. So no expense was spared though, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Very professional looking. It turned out even better than I had expected. So I'm extremely happy with it. Now I have to go... that was the easy part though. Now, the hard part is now I have to spend a few days, and it will literally take me days, going through all the footage, picking out the best bits and pieces of the demos, compressing them to a usable size, and then narrating over the top of each of the demos and breaking them down for you guys, and that will be the final product, the final video course, which I'm calling Sexual Dominance Escalation. And the purpose of this video course is to basically try and take the average vanilla inexperienced guy from where he is currently in the bedroom, with various vanilla, or shall we say tame, sexual acts, and teach him how to systematically scale them up over time with women in the bedroom to a point where he is far more sexually dominant in the bedroom, to the point where he could get into a BDSM style relationship, a dom sub relationship, if he so chose. So the whole course is a breakdown, step by step, a baby stepping breakdown of how to go from being tame in a bedroom to being a bit more of a freak and a lot more dominant in the bedroom. And I'm very excited to have finished the filming component. It's my first time ever actually producing something of this nature, so kind of producing a porno of this nature. It's not really a porno though, it's a sex ed course. So, but I used porn stars, and there is actual real live sex demos in the video course, so you can see things happening in real time, real sex happening in real time, and then narrated by me on exactly what's going on and why what I'm doing works and where it fits in the grand scheme of the course I'm taking you through. So it is going to be a hell of a video course. I'm looking forward to releasing it. So I'm going to be cracking through the video editing and voiceover work over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I can get it to the point before December. I plan on it'll be released in December. My next challenge is to find a place to actually host said video course, because where I currently host my my ebook, Gumroad, it would get taken down almost immediately because of the sexual nature and the actual visual pornographic content that is in the video course. So I'm going to have to find a workaround for that and probably host it on my own website, my stirlingcooper.com, which is currently not really being used for anything else. So now we have something to use it for. So that's the next problem. Once I'm done editing the course and creating it, then we can move on to actually hosting it so you guys can buy it and enjoy and indulge in it. And we will be doing a we'll be doing a launch sale. Absolutely, we will be doing a launch sale, a pre-order sale. And as I'm editing and compressing footage and finding some really good demos, I will be showing some of the safe for work or safe for YouTube, hopefully, fingers crossed, safe for YouTube demos that I can put up here, and I can play through them and actually give you a couple of free breakdowns for you on this channel as I continue the editing process. So, and then we'll probably be going on a few other channels and doing some interviews and bigging up the course as well. So there's gonna be a lot of promotion going on over the next month or so. So stay tuned for that. So for anyone in the chat right now, I am quite keen to do a little bit of a Q&A if you are interested at all. Yes, Ruben, I will absolutely be doing I'll be doing pre-order discounts. So basically, if you get on, prior to the video course actually going live and being available for everybody, if you lock in your pre-order, you'll be getting it at a significant discount. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be rewarding, early birds, early adopters, early buyers, pre-orders with a significant discount for the course. So yes, good question. Evening to Primark, Ruben, Udaman, everyone in the chat right now. It's good to see you guys. If anyone has any questions right now, we can do a little bit of a Q&A. If anyone has any questions regarding sex, dating, relationships, book recommendations, you name it. I'm in a giving mood right now because I'm very happy to have just finished. Man, this year I just finished a very significant milestone on my calendar this year. Today, and I honestly that has been on my there's been a goal of mine to get this course finished, or at least get this part filmed for the last few months. And man, if you told me in January of this year what I would be doing right now, that I would be teaching men this kind of stuff, that I would have a book done and then another video course on the way, I would not really believe you. But 2020, man. Some people have let 2020 really screw them around. Some people have let 2020 be a really shit year for them. But for me, man, 2020 has been a defining year in my entire life. One of the best, probably if I'm being honest, I'll look back on it. This has probably the best year of my life, and the most pivotal, life-changing year of my life, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's because of all the work I've been putting in, because of the connections I've been making, the changes I've made to my life, the changes I've made to my career and my business pursuits. And it just goes to show, guys, what's the old saying? If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. We're making some lemonade over here. That is for damn sure. So, I mean, look, everyone had a different sort of outtake, a different kind of not outlook, a different kind of reaction to the pandemic, to the lockdown situations. Some people, and don't get me wrong, I had days like this as well, just curl up on the couch, watch Netflix, watch Tiger King back in May, ordered Uber Eats, and just chilled. And you know what? I'm going to be honest, I had days like that. I certainly did. But I also saw it as an opportunity. If I'm not getting work, if I'm not on set getting work, I better double down on something. I better find some new revenue streams. And with everyone jumping onto OnlyFans, that quickly became very, very competitive. Now, I already had plans to produce my ebook, and it was already basically written come May, but I had it gave me the little bit of a push I needed to get it finished, to get it out there, to market it, to reach out, to network. And here we are. We're basically in a position where we're helping a lot of men, and every day we're growing bigger and bigger. We can help more and more men, help them improve their sex lives, help them improve their lives in general. Because I'm all about men becoming more masculine and channeling that masculine energy to improve their lives and the lives of people around them. I think that's what we're missing right now in the Western world. And I'd love to see it come back. I'd love to see men. I'd love to see our T levels shoot up through the roof. That's what I'd love to see. I want all of you watching this to have, in a year's time, to have a T level of 1200. All right? That's the goal. You're all going to have a T level of 1200 in 12 months' time. We're going to make an accountability group. We're all going to jump in a spreadsheet together, share ideas, get blood tests regularly, and we're going to get our T levels up to 1200 naturally. There you go. That's the goal. Atlas shrugging. When you are forced to stay home, find new ways to improve yourself. It's been a great year for that. Damn right it has, mate. Damn right it has. Here you go. Here's a good question from Udaman. What is the best way to overcome performance anxiety, to get it back up when your soldier lets you down? That's a great question, because I actually I was on a coaching call, a group coaching call last night for John from Modern Life Dating's Patreon group. I jumped in and helped out. I help out a few. I helped out on Thursday. I helped out Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO's Patreon group. I did a Q&A with those guys. So I help out a few different groups, and so I think it's about damn time I created my own Patreon group and helped out you guys, because if I'm helping out other groups, I should absolutely be helping out my group, my chat, my guys. So we will be creating that. But brings me back to my point. The question was the best way to overcome performance anxiety, and it's an interesting question because there's a lot of different ways to fix it, because there's a lot of different there's a lot of different causes rather of it, and we had a guy on the chat in the Patreon group last night who was having this exact same problem, I'm obviously not going to name names, but this man was a very, very good-looking gentleman, extremely good-looking gentleman, extremely well-paid gentleman, pulling in excess of $200,000 US a year. So, with a very, how do I put this? His job comes with a high degree of social status, shall we say. I'm trying to keep this as vague as I possibly can for doxing purposes. So, high social status job, 200,000 plus a year income, very good looking dude. Got everything going for him, right? And he had this problem where he actually has a lot of girls in his rotation. I think he was saying he was juggling like 5 or 8 chicks. I think he was saying, which is quite a lot. And he's a guy who couldn't. He is a guy who has only got I believe he was saying he had a lay count of 23. He's in his like late 20s, I believe. And he, prior to getting coaching from people like John, he was kind of struggling or frustrated at least with the ladies. And it's kind of funny when you see guys like this that kind of on paper they have it all. They're like good looking, status, money. You're like, this guy, how does this guy have problems with the ladies? He did. And unfortunately, one of his problems right now is because he's finally sort of figured out, how to take advantage of his situation. He's learning a bit of game, so he's getting a lot more results. He's got all these girls in his rotation. But the problem he is having is the first time he sleeps with a girl, there is performance anxiety. And, the little soldier downstairs, as you put it, is letting him down on the first date and not on subsequent dates. But what he has done, unfortunately, is he has started to rely heavily on Cialis, where he will try, he will always try to do it naturally when he first, the pants come off or whatever. And then if things aren't working, he ducks off to the bathroom, pops the Cialis, comes back, and then does the job. Now, that might sound like a great solution, but there is a big problem with that. And the problem with that is developing a dependence on a substance like Cialis. And the problem with things like Cialis, Viagra, Chemagra, all these kinds of boner pills, or whatever, shall we say, is that your body, if you use them regularly, and every guy in the porn industry will tell you this, if you use them regularly, your body starts to develop a immunity to them, a resistance to them. They have an increasingly less and less potent effect, and so you need more and more dosage to cause the same effect, or eventually they just don't do anything for you. Your body is no longer receptive to it. Now, that's with a lot of use, don't get me wrong, but you also don't really want to ever put yourself in a position where you are dependent upon something like Cialis for your sex life. It's just not ideal, especially if you are generally a healthy, fit young man, or middle-aged man. If you're a healthy, fit guy, you shouldn't need this stuff. So I know because we sort of asked a few questions about him. He's a very healthy guy, eats right, exercises. So it's not his cardiovascular system. He is everything should be working fine. And here's the key. You know that it is a mental problem, like it's a mental issue, because he's not going down when he pops a Cialis. Because Cialis, Viagra, all this stuff, does not give you a boner, does not give you an erection. It keeps the erection there. It increases the pump. It makes it go up, say, quicker, and it keeps it there for longer, but it does not give you an erection. It does not make you horny. It does not make you aroused, because that is the trigger. Right, mental arousal, mental horniness, that state of mind, that sort of visceral emotional reaction is what initiates and causes an erection. And then various things like your cardiovascular circulation, your nitric oxide production, these things cause the strength and length of the erection. And that's where drugs like Cialis and Viagra kick in and assist, right? They assist in maintaining and lengthening an erection. They don't cause one. It's a very important thing to understand, because most guys, when they have problems, their first resort is to reach for a pill. And let me tell you, personals, I will answer your question, Udaman, eventually. I will get around to it. So there's a lot. It was a good question, so I'm kind of giving you a lot of background as to why the various ways this problem can manifest. So I'll tell a bit of a personal story. When I was in my mid-20s, I was seeing this girl. And I'm not proud to say it, but she was actually cheating on her fiance with me. For a period of about 6 months, actually. For a period of about 6 months, she would come around to my place. We'd hang out, have sex, then she'd go home to her fiance. And it got to a point where she was this sort of daughter of a rich daddy and private schoolgirl, like spoilt kind of brat upbringing. And like she was playful and fun and we had a good vibe, but there was over a period of time, man, she just got on my nerves because she was such a little brat. An entitled, kind of spoiled brat. I found her attractive physically though, so that's kind of what kept me around. Or what let me keep her coming around, I should say. So there came to a point after a few months of this, there was one day I just sort of, found her a bit too annoying and I couldn't get it up. I was like, God damn it. This bitch just irritated me. And so I thought, oh crap, maybe there's something wrong with me. So I got a prescription for a tablet of Viagra to try it out. Lo and behold, I popped half of Viagra, and then the next time she came around, did absolutely nothing. Because she was pissing me off so much with being an annoying brat. I learnt the first time I ever tried the damn thing, well, years before I got into the porn industry, I learnt very quickly that it does not, Cialis, this stuff does not give you an erection. It just keeps it there for longer. The act of getting aroused is a mental, emotional process. Like the spark that starts it off, right? So, going back to this guy we were coaching last night, he was saying he has this sort of anxiety issue the first time he ever sleeps with girls. And lately he's been sort of compensating for that with Cialis. And he's been doing fine. He's been getting it up. He pops the pill, gets it up, does his job. That tells you immediately that he's using the Cialis as a crutch, and it's working as a placebo too. It's working because he's able to get it up without any issues, right? So his nervousness, his anxiety is disappearing purely because he has faith in the pill, right? And then all of his mental neuroses are disappearing when he pops it because he thinks it's the miracle drug. Now, going back to your question, you demand, what's the best way to overcome performance anxiety? So it really depends upon what the cause of it is. So for some guys, it's wanting to, you have too strong of a desire to please your partner and to impress them and to try and stand out. So what that does is it puts a lot of pressure on yourself. Puts a lot of pressure on yourself to perform. So you have to find a way. You have to basically work around that kind of mental prison you've created for yourself. So you have to flip it on its script, basically. So the solution, if that was the cause of your problem, the solution to it is to deliberately go into sex with a selfish attitude. I like to call this frame the selfish pervert frame. So you go into sex being like, she is a sex object, she is this little fuck doll, this fuck toy, and you're going to have fun with it for your own perverse pleasure. And that kind of takes, and you don't give a shit if she enjoys herself or not. You're not trying to hurt her or anything like that, don't get me wrong, but you don't give a shit if she gets off because you're just doing things for your own perverse pleasure. Now, ironically enough, this attitude does two things. One, it takes all this pressure off yourself to perform and to be impressive and whatever, all this stuff you've sort of built up upon yourself. And two, it actually is probably more likely to give the girl an orgasm because she can tell that you don't give a shit. She can tell that you're more present and more in the moment and you're not all up in your head. And so she can be present in the moment and enjoy herself. So ironically, it actually helps you. It helps you perform better for her as well. Bit of a paradox there. The other problem, another common problem for these guys, is that they are too in their head and they're too focused on themselves and focused on what might go wrong, and just focused on the thought, oh, I hope I don't go limp because I'd like to have sex right now. You know, they sort of build it up too much in their head, and that's like the opposite of being present and in the moment. When you're present and in the moment, you're not up in your head and thinking about things, thinking about what might happen, what might transpire, what might be. You're focused on the woman, the beautiful woman that's in front of you, and that's where your focus and attention goes, and thus, bingo, old mate downstairs works perfectly fine. Now, this other guy, his issue was he actually had quite a serious porn habit prior to a few months ago. And he's now started to kick that habit and is not watching porn anymore. This is a good thing. If you watch too much of it, it will seriously screw around with your brain and your dopamine receptors and your ability to achieve erection, because based on regular stimulus, i.e. a naked woman in front of you. Because if you watch copious amounts of pornography, you're bombarding your brain with different stimuli all the time, constantly when you're jerking off, right? So you're conditioning your brain to respond a certain way to a certain stimulus. So that when eventually you have a woman in front of you, this is not is a different kind of stimulus and probably not as novel of a stimulus as what you have seen on porno websites. So your body doesn't respond like it normally should. So one of the ways around that is to go on a fast of a porno fast. Stop watching it, especially stop masturbating to it. And over time, you can allow your brain to reset, reacclimatize. And that's kind of what this guy is going through right now. He needs to give his brain time to adjust, and to adjust to the new stimulus, and to basically get himself to the point where he is, to a degree, giving himself blue balls deliberately, so that when he interacts with a woman next, he is raging and ready to go, like a teenager the first time he held hands with a girl. You know, he just cracks a fat one right off the bat. And that's 3 different ways to basically get over the performance anxiety issue. Like, a lot of the time, if I'm going to coach someone specifically on something, I really need to dive in deep and know exactly what their circumstances are, both like physical, mental, their history with these various things, because it's quite a common problem, but it is it's a very personal problem. The symptom is the same for everyone, but the cause of that symptom can be very different for everybody. So it does depend. It absolutely does depend. But this guy's on his path. This guy's on the way back to fixing this problem. Because the other kind of big thing you got to think about here is the way to get out of a slump like that, where you've had, say, a few experiences where you've had performance anxiety in a row, you're starting to develop a mental habit, a mental anchor of, when I get naked around a woman, I get performance anxiety. That's kind of like the anchor you're starting to build. And you want to break that as quickly as you can, because you want to replace that and give your brain new reference experiences of, oh, when I'm naked around a girl, old mate works perfectly fine and I'm super horny. That's what you want. Those are the kind of references you want to give your body. So you have to kind of deliberately engineer that situation so your brain can learn that it's okay to get a boner around a chick again. And once you've given it 2, 3, 4, 5 reference experiences in a row of you being totally fine, the problem disappears again. The wiring, the negative wiring kind of undoes itself in your brain, and you're fine again. It doesn't bother you. That same issue is gone. So it's not a quick fix, but it works. There is a way around it, and I fundamentally believe this is a problem that can be solved for any man, no matter how it is caused. So there you go, man. I hope that gives you some direction to move in. Yes. Yeah, I agree, Atlas. Yeah, juggling that many girls. He had like 5 or 8 girls he's spinning plates with. Juggling that many girls at once is exhausting, and performance can suffer simply from overuse. And I agree, and I told him, like, maybe you should be spacing this out for a little bit until you can get your mojo back. So that was one of the pieces of advice I gave him. Yes. Yes, treat that like button like you don't care about it and blow bang all over it. Correct, Russell. Thank you for jumping in the chat, mate. Yeah, smash that like button. I'm going to end the stream here. I've had a very long day, and I think I just gave you guys some fantastic tidbits of advice right there. And yeah, I just wanted to celebrate and let you guys know that I've finished filming all of the demo footage for my new course, Sexual Dominance Escalation, which I will now be editing and voicing over for the next couple of weeks, ready for a product launch in December, where I will be doing a early bird / pre-order discount for anyone who is interested in the product prior to its release. So very excited to release that for you guys. I don't know who Kevin S is on, so I'll have to check that out myself. You try to juggle 3. It is a bit of an editing nightmare, Russell. We'll get around to it. I'll make it work. I tried to juggle 3 girls, had them separately in a time span of 36 hours. It's hard, really busy maintenance. Yeah, that's like a full-time job, man. Like, managing that many chicks on the reg is actually quite time and energy consuming. I do not make any. I do not lie about that. That's absolutely the case. All right, we'll be back again tomorrow, and I will see you guys later. Hope you have enjoyed. Hope you have a good night. Smash that like button. Leave a comment for a video topic you'd like me to cover. I'm compiling a list as I see more and more people dropping things in the comment section. I'm adding them to my little Word doc so I can have a list of things I can go to. So if you have an idea for a topic you'd like me to go into depth on, please leave it in the comment section below, and then I will turn it into a live stream topic for you guys. Okay? So I'll see you next time.